Recently, I was listening to an interview with Baratunde Thurston, a writer and comedian from right here in DC. He said, "We've been living in this tiny story that has privileged a few at the expense of many for at least a couple hundred years." This statement holds so true because there are so many stories of Black heroes, stories we might never have heard, but stories that we should raise up. So today I'm raising up the story of Septima Clark. She was a teacher and community activist and a fighter for human rights. She was a teacher in South Carolina for more than 30 years, and during that time affiliated in a class action lawsuit with the NAACP for pay equity for Black and white teachers. Unfortunately, she was let go from her teaching position because of her affiliation with this civil rights organization. But that prompted Miss Clark to do more. She began teaching workshops on leadership, literacy, political empowerment, and voter registration, and did lots to launch voter registration for a variety of citizens across South Carolina. She was the director of education for the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, and there she directed their citizenship education program. She taught to empower others, to allow them to build different futures and to push for change. Rosa Parks was even one of her students at a workshop not long before the bus boycotts. Miss Clark's perseverance and commitment is an example to many. She fought for education, for equity, for political participation. It's a story more should hear. She worked not only for herself, but for possibilities to be provided to others. I think back to that tiny story that Thurston referenced, and I wondered how that story could have been different if all could have been at the table over those many hundred years. But luckily, Thurston, like many others, sees hope and opportunity as we move ahead. He says, a bigger story is possible. Now it's time to write some new stuff. Now it's time to grow beyond. His words echo the actions in the life of Septima Clark, and I hope all of us can use this time to take to heart her example and recognize that together, a bigger story is possible.